folks, welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Don Father and I'm about to do a reaction to a video that wasn't requested. It just popped up as a suggested one. I thought, oh, that would actually be pretty good for a reaction for a couple of reasons. I love the Native American culture and I actually have heard a few of their sayings in the past and I think they're fantastic. The one with the two wolves, the good wolf and the bad wolf, which one wins? We've all got a good wolf and a bad wolf inside us. Which one wins? Well, it's the one that you feed. Basically, if you're gonna put negativity into your body, you're gonna produce more negativity, more anger, more, you know, if you put more good thoughts, more positivity into your life, surround yourself with positive people, things like that there, you'll actually give out more positivity, you'll be more of a good person, nicer person, that kind of idea. This is the Proverbs anyway, Native American Proverbs, life-changing wisdom in brackets. The link to the original video, as always, will be in the description section below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share and put the bell on. Thank you very much. I'm not going to talk much more, so no more talking then. Let's go.
It is no longer good enough to cry peace. We must act peace, live peace, and live in peace. When a man moves away from nature, his heart becomes hard.
Could agree with that.
It is better to have less thunder in the mouth and more lightning in the hand.
Stop it there. I take from that's an Apache that said that, talking a good game, people who always try and talk a good fight or try and instigate violence or, you know, provoke trouble with their mouth, it's better to have less thunder in your mouth and more lightning in your hand. Don't be encouraging violence or trouble. Fight and show people that you're willing to sacrifice yourself for what you're willing, for what you believe in. So less talking, more action. No more talking. Let's go. That's the kind of thing that we're getting to right there, isn't it?
Don't be afraid to cry. It will free your mind of sorrowful thoughts.
Yeah, definitely.
There is no death, only a change of worlds.
Interesting.
What is life? It is the flash of a firefly in the night. It is the breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. It is the little shadow which runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset.
Wow, that's quite deep, that one.
If we wonder often, the gift of knowledge will come. Those who have 1 foot in the canoe and 1 foot in the boat are going to fall into the river.
That must mean something though. It must mean something.
Man has responsibility, not power.
Yeah, look, this is quite apparent in today's world, of course, with the pandemic and everything that we're facing right now. Global tensions with countries around the world. I'm not going to get into politics, but this is kind of what I believe this is touching on. A man, I would take from this, a man has responsibility, not power. So if you're in a position of authority, a position of power, you don't have power, you have responsibility. You make decisions that are going to affect a lot of people. You better make them wisely, you better make them correctly, and with the thought of what would everybody like, not just for yourself. You're not power over the people, they are the power, and you're the person that makes the decisions for the people, if you like. You answer what the people want. Man has responsibility, responsibility in his position of leadership or responsibility in his position of authority, not power. You're not powerful. Don't exploit your position. Use it to the benefit of everyone, not yourself.
When we show our respect for other living things, they respond with respect for us.
100%.
Wisdom comes only when you stop looking for it and start living the life the Creator intended for you.
Absolutely.
When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice.
That's a fantastic look at it. I love that. That's a Cherokee one.
We will be known forever by the tracks we leave. A rocky vineyard does not need a prayer, but a pickaxe.
Right. I can't work out what that one was doing.
Our first teacher is our own heart. Remember that your children are not your own, but are lent to you by the Creator.
It's a Mohawk one. Very.
Life is not separate from death. It only looks that way. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together. All things connect.
I love that. I love that.
The frog does not drink up the pond in which he lives. Before eating, always take time to thank the food.
Thank the food, or... Interesting. I've heard... That's the end of the video. Some of them I kind of got what they were meaning. Obviously, they have a deeper meaning than what the saying is just saying. There's a bit of philosophy behind it, so some of them are quite hard for me to pick up on straight away. If anybody could clarify some of them I was a bit confused on, to tell you the truth. Probably should have paused it and asked at the time which ones they were, to be fair. But they're very... In actual fact, you do get wisdom through living your life, not actually listening to other people, by going out and getting experiences, making mistakes, enjoying yourself, challenging yourself, going out and going, do you know what, I fancy, you know, this isn't for everyone, but just for example, might go mountain walking, start doing a bit of mountain walking, go and see the beauty in nature, and that takes me on to the next thing. We're all connected in nature, and that does seem more apparent in the world today. When you look at the deforestation and all the rest of it, the knock-on effect that has with the wildlife, of course. For ourselves, we're eating and we're mass producing vegetables, crops, etc. We're farming animals, over farming animals nearly, and it has a knock-on effect. All things that we are doing as a human race does have a knock-on effect on the natural world, and we are seeing that now. This generation's more knowledgeable on that, and that is down to maybe the mistakes of previous generations, and we're trying to change that. Hopefully it can be done sooner rather than later, because when you watch some of the nature shows, particularly with a guy called David Attenborough here in the UK, Sir David Attenborough that is, he's one of the best people ever to watch when you want to learn things about nature. But he talked about visiting a reef. It wasn't the Great Barrier Reef. He's visited the Great Barrier Reef before, of course, off the east coast of Australia, but he was talking about some other reef. I can't remember if it was somewhere in the Indian Ocean or something like that, but it said for him, he has spent his life, he's 90 odd year old now, spent his life in doing this profession, and he went back to a reef that he went to when he was in his 20s, and it's nearly dead, it's grey, and then it goes from grey to brown nearly, where it's like overgrown with like algae and stuff like that where it's completely gone, and this is like just in the seas, so it's having an effect on the planet. So I do agree with that statement. Everything in nature is linked. It is the circle of life, without trying to get too cartoony and Lion Kingy. It really is though, because we need insects to pollinate the food that we eat, we need bees, and everything has a cycle, you know. Within that, even the water, they talk to the food. Thank your food, which was an interesting take. I've actually heard people saying, now it's not my belief, but I've heard people saying that they believe sending positive messages into water, the water that you drink, actually puts good positive things back into you. If you drink it, giving thanks and giving positive messages into your water. Now, it's not necessarily what I believe in, but whatever floats other people's boat, if they believe that to be the case, then what's the harm in that? I don't have a problem with that. But that's the first time I've heard of the saying, thank the food, rather than thank, obviously people say grace at the dinner table, they thank God, or they thank their parents, the people who provided the food, go to their work, earn the money to buy the food. Or way back when these sayings maybe came out, you went and hunted for the food. The Native Americans, the way they would have lived back then. But thank the food. I suppose you're thanking the animal. Maybe they've killed a deer and they're thanking the deer for its life. They're thanking the food that they eat. So it's a different way to look at things, but definitely I could understand a lot of those sayings. Some of them are a bit confusing to me because they are like quite philosophical, and you would really need to sort of study the saying and get what do they actually mean by this, and what text, context and relation is it. So I actually enjoy it. I love their way of life. They're very knowledgeable about the natural world. They live closer to nature, I think, than Westerners, the way we've lived now. They live and appreciate more nature than what I think we do. We just go on about our lives in such a fast pace and don't slow down enough to take it all in, the beauty around you on a daily basis. Like I had a friend, he worked in Canada and British Columbia. I think he was in Vancouver actually, and he says, how could you be unhappy when he worked there? He was driving these beautiful roads with these pine forests around the mountains with lovely rivers running. He was going to do work and he was like, how could you be unhappy when you see that? And he's actually appreciating the beauty of nature, the things that sometimes you don't need to be going to concerts, you don't need to be going to sports events, you don't need to be going shopping, the pubs, the clubs, the fast-paced, adrenaline fueled events to actually have a nice time or a good time. Sometimes there's just things in the natural world that you take a step back and go, wow, that's beautiful. And that's peace. That you can find these places bring you peace. And you know, I just feel that sometimes we need to go backwards to actually go forwards, look at things from the past and see things how they would have done it. And there's a lot of lessons to take from that, rather than being on a fast pace to do all these things. And actually, are you ever really happy? It remains to be seen. Like especially the next generation coming up. And I appreciate I'm talking on here, but it's just a point I want to make. The tablets, the phones, the box sets. I mean, there's no shortage of TV stations now. We're hooked on TV screen like that, eating garbage, eating junk food, drinking garbage sugary drinks, getting fat, on a tablet thinking, oh, I can't miss this, I can't miss that, I must watch this. When actually, if you just put it all off, put the devices down, switch the TV off and go for a walk, maybe in a local park, and just go and appreciate what's on your doorstep, you might end up happier. It's better for the soul. That's what I'm getting at. I think going out sometimes, going for a walk is actually far better for the soul than the negativity that surrounds these devices. And I think we're indoctrinating our children into such a way that this is becoming normality, and it's quite worrying to think, where will the next generation be after them? Will we be socially bankrupt in a sense that we do not know how to communicate with each other? People have lost that the ability to interact, to to be decent people. We're taking the humanity out of humans and replacing it with technology, and it's very, very worrying. And that's when I look at these things with the Native Americans and I think, it's fantastic to see the way they would have done stuff, and very wise indeed. And some of their sayings are actually still apparent to this day. To this day, you can draw parallels with it. And as I say, sometimes you have to look backwards to move forwards. And I think it's a lesson a lot of people could learn, whereas we're all in a rat race to do what? I don't know, to do nothing. But that's just my take on it. I enjoyed the video. The link to the original video is in the description section below, and if anybody can clarify some of the sayings, actually what they mean, because maybe you're more educated than me and maybe their way of life that they had, the sayings, etc., that would help a great deal, because of some of them it kind of was passing me by the message within it, so that would be fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share, and put the bell on so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Thanks very much for watching. I am the Dawn Father, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.